Hello, my fellow concerned friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you guys had a good weekend. I'm curious to know what you got up to this weekend. I know that I had a good weekend, and I just want to say a genuine thank you for showing up and supporting my content once again, for clicking on my video when I post once again. It means the world to me, because I would not be able to do this if it was not for you showing up and viewing, for you subscribing, liking, and commenting your thoughts, ideas, and opinions. This community would not exist if it was not for you guys. And I am just so thankful that you guys allow me this space to be able to make these videos and that we always have such healthy and good conversations in the comments. It means the world to me. This channel would not be what it is without you. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. I hope that you stick around. I hope that you get something beneficial from my content, even if it's just feeling safe, seen, and supported in our community of fellow concerned friends. I have been seeing your guys' tags on TikTok. And yes, we are talking about some of them today because I feel like ever since that clip of Michael Jordan went viral where he was completely groping that little boy, I feel like I've been tagged in like an influx of more videos where celebrities are either admitting to or admitting to thinking or have thought about the most egregious, predatory, horrible things about children, laughing about it or being dead serious about it, and they still have relevancy. Who's surprised? If you are a follower of mine, then you shouldn't be, because this is not the first kind of this video that I've made. I've made multiple videos in the past talking about celebrities who have either said or done egregious things and are still happily in the limelight. Like, I really don't understand how society does not take these things seriously and hold people accountable forever. Like, I promise, there is enough funny and talented people out there who deserve that spot who are not predators. So I really cannot twist my mind around why we as a society continue to let this happen. Why fans of these people continue to turn a blind eye. Like, I really don't understand. Like, I don't understand James Charles, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson. Like, the Shane Dawson one has really been like frying me. Like, I'm like floored because I have seen so many people say since he went on the Bangin' Out podcast, you know, what he did really wasn't that bad. You know, well, it was just jokes. You know, the good he did for society really outweighs the bad. Like, oh, and we wonder why nothing ever happens to these people. We wonder. Let's first talk about the Michael Jordan situation, okay? And right now we are talking about Michael Jordan, the basketball player, not Michael B. Jordan, the actor. So I'm not going to play you guys the video because I don't want to share a video of a child being groped by an adult. I'm not going to share that video. I will, however, describe the video to you and context about what happened before, because there are excuses that use the context that happened before the video to excuse what we saw in the video. So this was like a NASCAR event, something like that. I know people are gonna like roast me in the comments and say, oh my God, you're so unresearched, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what the event is. The event doesn't matter. What happened mattered, okay? If it matters to you, then that's great. It was some NASCAR event. This kid's dad, I think, like won or something, and he had a bucket of water, or like some people said ice water poured on him. I did not see any ice water. I did see the part of the video where the dad dumped water on the kid, and it was like from a bottle of water, not ice water. In the video where you can actually see this incident occur, it shows the little boy kind of standing in front of like a barrel thing. Again, some sort of celebration. It doesn't matter. He's standing in front of this thing. There's people everywhere. Everyone is celebrating. When all of a sudden, Michael Jordan reaches his hand in front of him and completely is grabbing this little boy's butt. Like, not once, not twice, but multiple times, like doing a scooping and pinching motion. And then he drags his hands down the little boy's legs and is like tickling kind of on the back of his thigh above his knee area. Super, super, super weird. And the little boy ends up like turning around and looking at him, and he stops, and then the little boy turns back around. So obviously people online were going crazy about this, because it looks really weird. It's not even that it looks weird. The fact that anybody would do that is weird. It just is. And then people started making a million excuses. One of those excuses was, well, he had ice in his shirt, so he was just being nice and helping the little boy get ice out of his shirt. Other people were claiming that the video was actually AI, and other people were saying, what's the big deal? They know each other. The little boy and Michael know each other, so I don't see the harm. Plus, the little boy doesn't look uncomfortable, so why are we making a big deal out of this? And I have a lot to say about some of these comments, so I decided instead of showing you guys the video, I will just show you guys some of these comments and we will respond to them. This person says, the boy's dad just won the race in Michael Jordan's car, Jordan's first race. As a part of the celebration, they were doused in ice and champagne, which the boy said made him itch. MJ was removing the ice from his shirt, confirmed by multiple sources, which is why reading is fundamental. But I didn't see any ice. I didn't see any ice, and I saw the video. I've rewatched the video multiple times because I don't want to sit here and sound like a naive, ignorant liar if there is going to be clearly an ice cube falling out of his shirt. I mean, yeah, I want to be able to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, right? There was no ice cube. And I did not see him grab this boy's shirt. I saw him grab this child's rear end full on with his whole hand. So yeah, his thumb touched the shirt. But if he was getting ice out of this child's shirt, he would have been grabbing, let's say, maybe on his lower back, like where an ice cube might catch between a shirt and the seam of pants, not on a child's lower buttocks. That's complete. It doesn't even make sense. Not to mention, there was no ice cube that fell down. Not to mention, that's still not acceptable or appropriate. I would not let anybody touch my child like that. That would be completely unacceptable. Like anybody. That's not playful. That's not silly. That's not goofy. That's crossing clear boundaries. Like, since when are we teaching children that it's playful and appropriate when anybody, but especially a grown man, is fondling their private parts, which, yes, includes the buttocks? Are we telling them that it's wrong with the exception of some people, or when it happens to the child and they feel uncomfortable, you're telling them, well, they didn't mean it that way. Not them. I know I told you not to let anybody, but they're okay. Like, we are really, really fogging up some very important boundaries that should be very clear for children and their safety. Another person says, kid ain't even uncomfortable. It's just y'all. And to that I have to say, I really wasn't uncomfortable with a lot of the things my stepdad was doing to me because it was normal to me. And it wasn't until I started talking to my friends and going over to my friends' houses and seeing how different their relationships with their dads were compared to mine and my stepdad that I started to get uncomfortable. It was not until I was exposed to what normal was that I started to feel uncomfortable and realize what was happening to me was not normal. So saying, hey, that kid's not even uncomfortable, it's just y'all. Okay, that's very concerning. Because a normal child would feel and should feel uncomfortable by a stranger grabbing their buttocks, by another child grabbing their buttocks. A child should be concerned and uncomfortable if their own parent is just grabbing their buttocks or any other private part. That's not normal, and thinking that it's okay just because a child is comfortable with it says a lot about you. Because at the end of the day, children cannot consent. So you don't get to say it's okay to fondle and grope a child just because they're comfortable with it because they can't consent. Here you can see that someone's asking if the video is AI, and I found this question to be hysterical, not even just coming from this person. I don't know who this person is, but I've seen multiple videos on my For You page of people claiming that this is AI. I mean, they are dead set that this is AI to the point that they will make a video slowing down the other video and being like, look at the hand. You see how the hand like morphs into something else, completely forgetting that angles exist and lighting exists and cameras are zoomed in or far away. Not to mention, this was broadcast on TV. It could not have been AI if it was like broadcast like from live television, like this event. That couldn't have been AI. It's like crazy to see people try to make up any validation or excuse to not have to accept that somebody that they really look up to or really admire is kind of probably a bad person. And I would love to just keep reading more comments and have more conversation about this, but what I found really interesting when doing my little bit of research for this segment of the video is that this is not the first time Michael Jordan has done this. He has done this, at least from what I have found, 2 other times. One of these times actually occurring on a commercial that was aired. The Be Like Me Gatorade commercial from 1992. Do I have anybody old enough here that remembers that commercial? I was born in 1999, so I don't remember that commercial, but I am curious if any of you guys old enough to remember do remember that commercial. And if you will remember, that part of that commercial showed a scene where he is on an outdoor basketball court and he's dribbling with this little boy, and he's obviously an adult man dribbling with this little boy, and the little boy has the ball and he turns around so his back is facing Michael Jordan. What does he do? Oh, he does nothing other than start smacking the little boy's rear, not with one hand, but 2 hands, for a Gatorade commercial in 1992. Another video that I'm not really using as actual evidence because I can't find the original source video. I can only find clips from whatever this video was online, but it showed what appeared to be Michael Jordan in an indoor gym where it kind of seemed like maybe he was coaching a basketball camp or something, and it seemed to have a mix of little boys and little girls. And one of the little girls is kind of running past him and he's kind of patting all the kids on their backs, but he smacks this little girl's butt. And he tries to do it with some of the other children too. So this is not a one-time thing or even a 2-time thing. This is a pattern of behavior that he has. So I'm really not buying it that this was innocent. I'm not buying it at all. But, who am I to judge, right? I'm not the parent. You're not the parent. So how about we actually hear from the parent of this child themselves?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I've gotten to know Michael and his family very well over the years I've been here with 2311, and I don't see what other people see when it comes to this. For me, it's a huge moment. This is the biggest moment of my career. It's a huge moment for my family and for his family, and I just I put that off to the side and just think about how think about the look on Yvette's face. And the whole family and his whole group when they got to Victory Lane.
Parent of the year, honestly. I'm going to ignore what everybody is telling me is wrong. I'm going to ignore possibly what I am feeling is wrong. And I am possibly going to ignore if my child is telling me that, yeah, it did kind of make me uncomfortable because this is a really big moment for me. I don't want to mess up my big moment. This was such a big moment for me. Plus, we've known Michael for a long time. Get this. News flash, bucko. Most of the time CSA happens is within family units and maybe not even a traditional family, right? I know in my family growing up, it was very non-traditional family. My stepdad was formally my uncle and my older stepbrother was my cousin. Still kind of is, I guess. I don't know, dude. Not very formal at all. And also my other set of aunts and uncles were just my mom and dad's childhood friends, but they were basically aunts and uncles to me, and we were around them for every holiday and stuff. That's what I mean by not traditional family, but people you would see family. Yeah, those most of the time are the people you should be concerned about. Not to say that to spread fear or anything, but statistically speaking, it is more often than not somebody your child knows and somebody your child should be able to trust. So I can do nothing but roll my eyes so hard at the parents who use the excuse of, we knew them. We know them. I refuse to see the signs because I've known them forever. That's my best friend. They would never do that. But he did. And we all just saw it. And also, he's been recorded at least 2 other times since at least 1992 of doing this exact same thing. So I cannot imagine what has not been recorded. I don't know though. All I know is I keep seeing videos of this man groping children's rear ends. The next awful thing that I was tagged in is a clip from the Two Bears, One Cave podcast hosted by Tom Segura and Bert Kreishaw. And it's horrible. It's really horrible. And I was able to find the full clip for context, but I'm telling you right now, there is no amount of context that makes this any better. It is absolutely awful. It's terrible. I hope you heeded the trigger warning. I'm going to play you guys the clip that I was tagged in first, and then I'm going to play you guys the full clip, and we are going to talk about it.
There's a lot of things people don't tell you about parenting, especially dads. A lot of people keep dads in the dark. Like, first time you hang out and hold your kid by yourself, you're going to get hard.
These men have children. These men are fathers. And now I already know people are going to say, oh, this is taken out of context because he wasn't saying that. He was quoting someone else. Have you guys seen the full clip though? If not, buckle in, because even with context, it somehow only got worse. And mind you, not only are these two men still like employed by their studio, what is their studio? Hold on, let me look it up for you. YMH Studios, and also Bert Kreischer. I know I'm probably late to get the game and everyone's like, yes, Danielle, we already know. He actually has his own Netflix show called Free Bert. He apparently has also been in multiple other like TV show, movies, sort of things, like comedy stuff. And I didn't make that connection until this morning when I was talking to my husband about doing this video. And I was like, dude, this guy, I can't even stand looking at his face. This is so disgusting. Both of these men, like, I genuinely want to vomit, and like, this is awful. And my husband's like, yeah, that was the guy who played in that show that we couldn't even finish because it was so disgusting and bad. And I was like, wait, what show? Because there's been a couple. I have pretty strict boundaries around things that I see because I am traumatized. So, but I was like, which one? And he's like, Free Bert. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So if you guys haven't seen Free Bert, me and my husband didn't get very far into it at all because it almost instantly starts being gross to his daughter. Like, it's gross. And now people who have seen it might be saying, oh my gosh, Danielle, you're so soft. Because the reason I stopped watching it is because like the joke that was happening was that he was like kind of like a dying comedian, if you will. So he decided to go on a podcast, and the podcasters started talking about his minor daughter and giving BJs. And then he started talking about his daughter giving BJs and like the possibilities of it and blah, blah, blah. It's just inappropriate. It was completely unneeded. Me and my husband felt so disgusting watching it. We don't want to think about a teenager. Like, that's gross. That's gross. So he's making jokes like this, right, on like shows and stuff. And then he's also saying stuff like this. It's gross. It's a pattern of behavior. These people are parents. And honestly, like, that's concerning to me. It really is.
There was a manager. I can't say his name. He's going to hear this and he's going to know I'm talking about him. He was a manager of a comedy club, and he was like, listen, man, right when I got Georgia, he goes, listen, there's a lot of stuff people don't tell you about parenting. I know what I'm going to say, and I'm ready for the look on your face when I say it. Like,
Wait,
this is
set the table for me, though.
This is the beauty of comedy. I know what words are going to come out of my mouth. I'm going to tell you who this is. I'm going to write down who it is so that you know who this is.
And where is it? Where do you?
I'm doing a comedy club.
Oh, you're at a club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember that guy?
Yes.
Okay. I know what I'm about to say to you, and I know that you're going to go, what? He goes, there's a lot of things people don't tell you about parenting, especially dads. A lot of people keep dads in the dark. Like, first time you hang out and hold your kid by yourself, you're going to get hard.
Notice how they're all laughing? They are all laughing as if this is the funniest, most relatable joke in the world. Like, oh my gosh, he's so right. Nobody tells dads this. Oh, that's so freaking relatable and funny. And it's not, because it's not normal. That is not normal. That is not supposed to happen. That is not common. That is not something a normal person goes through and experiences. And if they do, they're troubled and disgusted by it. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like POCD is not a real thing. POCD is absolutely a real thing. And now this is not a video on POCD, but I will say this: if I see any stigma around POCD, the comments will be deleted because it is a real thing. And what is OCD? Intrusive thoughts, right? What are intrusive thoughts? Thoughts that you are having that you cannot control, that you do not align with morally. They eat you alive. They tear you apart. They don't make you start laughing hysterically as if it's the most relatable thing ever. And by the way, parents, if you're listening, and you are struggling with POCD, please don't be afraid to talk to your doctor. It is not normal to have those thoughts, and they are scary. Even just if you are struggling with OCD, period, at all, there is help available, and you do not deserve to have to live your life going through that mental hell every single day. I understand a little bit about what it's like to live with OCD. I had postpartum OCD for almost 2 years after I had my first child, and I didn't even realize that it was OCD until about 6 months into going through it. And it was devastating. I don't even really remember a lot of like the first year of my first kid's life. And I don't really want to talk about that because it always makes me really sad. And I'm just glad I have pictures and videos. But that's just a little aside. This is not parents who have struggled with POCD. That's not what this is. These are sick people who think that that's funny, who may have had an erection while holding their child and think that that's relatable and funny. That is not POCD. So I don't want to see anybody in my comments even making that connection and being like, oh, they're just making a joke about POCD. No, they're not. I need to nip that in the bud right now, because if somebody has POCD, they are not going to be cracking up thinking that it's the most funny thing in the world. It is something that people feel deep shame and feel very isolated about struggling with. They don't sit there and make jokes and openly admit it. And listen to what else he says. I know I've yapped for a long time, but just listen, because it keeps getting worse.
It gets better. So I didn't know any better, so I just listened to him. And I'm holding my kid going, how come my dick's not getting hard?
The thing that is wrong with you and all of the men around you laughing at that is that you want to have an erection while holding your child, and you think not having one is the problem, not the desire. That's not the problem to you. Why are we labeling these people as comedians? It's not funny. There's no joke in this at all. This is completely disgusting, and I feel awful for his children.
I want it to get hard. It's not hard. I thought something was wrong with me. And so I told Leanne.
My dick got hard when I held my kids.
I said my dick only gets hard when I watch other people hold their kids.
I like that he said it matter of factly. Like, one of the things they don't tell you.
I the whole fucking first month, I was like, why isn't my dick getting hard?
Especially dads.
I told Leanne, and I go, my dick's not getting hard. Am I doing something wrong? She goes, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
Scum of the earth. Genuine scum of the earth to sit here and not only think that it's funny that somebody said that to you, but then to think that it's appropriate and makes you like a comedy genius to continue on with the bit by being like, but I'm sad that it wasn't happening for me. Why won't it happen for me? I was so sad because it was like a whole month of being a dad and I just kept crying, being like, why isn't it happening for me? Maybe I only can do that whenever I'm looking at someone else holding their kid. And then you got Tom chiming in being like, oh, that happened to me. Where is the joke? What is funny about this? And also, what's wrong with your wives? Your wives are also scummy. That's so disgusting. Genuinely disgusting. I don't understand how these people maintain platforms. I really do not understand it. I don't understand how some people just get passes to be literally the biggest scum of society and people just accept it. I don't understand at all. Now, that clip is 5 years old, and I am sure that they've said other heinous things. I've not gone through and tried to find everything, but I will say Free Bert was released in 2026. And me and my husband could not even get a gap in the show. We couldn't even get our feet wet in the show after having to cancel it from our house because it was inappropriate and weird and focusing on children. His own kids, once again, in the show. And we see this clip from 5 years ago where he is talking about wanting to be gratified in that way by holding his own child. Why? Netflix, hello. YouTube, hello, YouTube. Why are we letting them have like a platform on YouTube when this is what they're saying? This is what they're promoting. Oh, Danielle, they're not promoting it. They're just talking about something that was said and making a joke about it. No, this is absolutely normalizing and promoting it, because not once did they say, or have I seen any clips of them saying, hey, by the way, it's actually not normal to feel those things. And if you are feeling those things, help is available. No. So yeah, them just laughing about it and then being like, why didn't it happen to me? There must be something wrong with me. Yes, that's absolutely trying to normalize it. I don't care what anybody says. Argue with the wall. So why is YouTube allowing them a platform? Why is Netflix hosting them? Why are they so successful? Why are the worst people the most successful? It makes no sense. And last, but certainly not least, because I could definitely make this video like 8 hours long if I really wanted to, we have Corey Holcomb, who is like a radio host, podcaster, comedian. He is a man with a microphone saying the worst things in society.
Can you get charged if you spoon a child? Like, I mean, get behind him, make him take all his clothes off, and you hug him like that. Is that a charge?
Sure. Yes, Graham.
What is
pretty
that?
Sure.
Not no penetration. Just
doesn't have to be penetration. It's so you can't.
That's love.
You can. Okay. Hold
what
on.
if it's a stepchild?
Okay, I don't know where we're going with this, but
I'm just asking. They got these charges. I'm trying to see what the charges gonna be.
The wedding ring.
Somebody called me Corey Kelly because I said spoon.
Oh, good one.
I would never.
Or Corey Epstein.
Spoon a child. I'm asking, what happens if you do it?
What a weird conversation. And this is not even the worst of the things that I have heard him say, but let's start here. What will happen if you do it? Probably nothing, because the justice system hates children and loves protecting predators. Why are you asking as if you're like trying to see what might happen if you do this? How much trouble you're going to get in if you do this. Like, this is just such a weird conversation to have, especially when you pair it with everything else this man has said. And by the way, I have really honestly no idea who this man is besides the videos that I have been tagged in and the little bit of Googling that I've done to see that he does talk shows. And he's a man with a podcast mic. He's also weird. Like, you're like trying to like gain information and be like, how far can I go? What can I do? Well, what is technically illegal? What if it's a stepchild? And that part always really makes me so mad when people think that it's less harmful just because it's a stepchild. That was something I wish looking back that I hadn't even entertained the argument. But years ago on TikTok, when I would talk about my experience in my household with my stepdad, back then I didn't specify stepdad because in my mind, I didn't really feel like I needed to, just because he was always a dad to me. I never called him my stepdad. He was just my dad. In fact, my biological dad is the one that I would stepify? That I would specify. Like, if I was talking about my biological dad to anybody, I would always either say his name or say, oh, my bio dad. But my stepdad to me was always my dad. So when I did start specifying, oh yeah, it was my stepdad, I had a lot of people be like, oh, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're not a victim of incest, because it was your stepdad. And I remember feeling genuinely so like appalled, because I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally grew up with that man. Just because we do not share the same DNA does not make him not my father, nor does it make what he did to me not incest. And so it makes me so mad when I see people use that as an excuse to lessen the severity of a crime. Well, it was a stepchild. Oh, well, it was my niece. It wasn't my actual kid, right? So it's not as serious. It is. It is. I don't care if you're technically that kid's great-great-grandpa. If you literally raised that child since they were a baby and all they have known is you as their father, you're their dad. I mean, maybe they won't call you dad. I don't know. But I think you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not trying to like label everybody's situation, but I think you guys are getting what I'm saying. I hope. You cannot lessen the severity of your crimes just because it's a stepchild or a niece or a nephew or a grandchild or a neighbor's kid. It's so infuriating and really a weird thing to get stuck up on when talking about harming children.
You don't have to be no 18. I think it was 13, maybe 14.
Yeah.
That's a grunt. The vagina been on this planet 14 years. I've said this before on the show also. Do you know if a woman 16 years old gives you a baby, that is going to be 16, 17, 18, 19. That is going to be one of the healthiest babies possible.
Right.
Well,
At that age, they've been on the planet long enough. They're in their prime developmental wise to create a life.
What's really scary and sickening to me is that we've not seen rage bait today. We've not been seeing rage bait. We're not criticizing people just being edgy and just saying things to make people mad. We are seeing people who actually believe in this. We are seeing a dad who genuinely believes that his triumph should overshadow investigating why another grown man touched his son like that. We have seen two other dads think that it is hilarious and also envy other men who have gotten erections holding their own children. They really believe that. We have seen another man genuinely believe that children can be whores.
This past weekend, I saw this little girl. She had a Welch's grape juice bottle in her mouth. And she was about 5. She had the whole bottle, as far as it'll go, just sucking on it, walking with her mama. Somebody said, get that out her mouth. When they took it out her mouth, that baby said, You know when she stopped crying? When a man picked her up and put her in her lap and started bouncing with her. Then she stopped crying and was looking like this. This little girl was in her bliss with her mouth wide open. He was just, it had the cap on it and everything. They took it out her mouth. Then a man picked her up and started shaking her on his knee. And she was like, I said, that's a little, it's just Corey Holcomb crazy. I almost want to go back and ask about that little girl and do a documentary on her life. So one day I can show I know what I'm talking about.
Genuinely believe that children, or as he says, 16-year-olds are women. Did you catch that? He believes that children can give you the best babies. These are people who really believe these things. People's sons are looking up to. People's children are looking at and thinking, wow, those jokes are really funny, or thinking, you know what, he's got a point. And that will continue to happen so long as we keep these people on a pedestal. Until fans decide, you know what, that's actually not funny. You know what, that's actually not acceptable. Until these companies like YouTube and Netflix decide, you know what, that's not acceptable. These are not acceptable jokes. We don't align with these. Sure, you can have your freedom of speech, but I am not giving you money or a safe place to spread these disgusting and harmful ideologies. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. People would rather assume something is taken out of context, or that something is fake, or something is AI generated, than to sit with the fact and acknowledge the fact that somebody they really, really liked, somebody that they thought they could look up to, is actually a bad person, not worthy of their time, not worthy of their money, and not worthy of their praise. There are plenty of other people that you can pour your time, praise, and money into that are deserving. And at the end of the day, if they have a good heart and they're a good person, their product, if you want to call it that, will be better, whether it's comedy or it's music or it's an actual physical product. But I feel like people don't do that because in admitting that somebody they really liked was a bad person, I feel like those people may feel like that makes them a bad person. Like, oh, I really liked this person, that it turns out they're actually a really bad person, and maybe I didn't see it before. What does that say about me? So now you're kind of stuck between feeling really guilty and having to make a decision to change your mind about something, or blindly defending somebody when in reality you may just be trying to defend yourself when you don't have to. I will throw myself out there and say there have been many artists, celebrities, musicians that I have liked in the past that now, being 26 years old or finding out things that maybe I didn't know before, I don't align with. I won't seek it out. I won't listen to it, watch it, read it, whatever it is I don't align with. And I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel bad that I liked somebody that turned out to be an awful person, because at the end of the day, I never knew them. I wasn't in those rooms. I wasn't around. That has nothing to do with me. It's not my fault that they ended up making something that I liked and they ended up being a bad person. Where it is my fault and where it is my responsibility is what I do with that information once I have it. Am I going to be an ostrich and bury my head in the sand because I somehow feel personally offended? Or am I going to acknowledge, like, yes, that's really bad, but you know what? There's brighter horizons elsewhere, because at the end of the day, the celebrity being terrible has nothing to do with me. But what has everything to do with me is standing up and supporting victims, supporting children, supporting marginalized communities. That is something that I can do. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. These conversations are always so incredibly important to have, because who you watch and who you pour your time into is who you are ultimately giving your money to. And you definitely do not want to be financially supporting the lifestyles of people who are going out of their way to harm kids or make fun of kids being harmed. Oh, and the Gatorade commercial. I'm really curious to know if you remember the Gatorade commercial from 1992. And if you do remember it, I have a question. What was the public's reaction when that commercial was aired? I'm really, really curious and excited to see everyone's response, because something that I hear all the time in this space, in this community, is, oh, well, that was normal back in my day. Back in my day, that wasn't weird. But then again, on the flip side, I also see people in the same spaces saying, no, you're wrong. This has never been normal. It might have just been normal in your family, but it's not normal. So I'm really interested to hear everybody's different perspective. If you remember that commercial, about maybe what did you think? What did your parents think? What did teachers think? Like, just what was being said about that commercial, because I do know that that commercial was a pretty big deal because of the song that was used. It kind of got, I almost said viral. Oh, viral like wasn't a thing in the 90s. I don't think so, except for like viruses on your, okay, I'm getting way off topic. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Do be on the lookout for Wednesday's video. I was tagged in an Aunt Karen video about a book that a French woman is trying to release that is very similar to the book that I covered months and months ago about that Australian author making a dark romance about children. And now we have a French lady doing it. So yeah, that's going to be Wednesday's video. I'm really excited to make that one for you guys. I have steam coming out of my ears right now. You just can't see it, but that's all I have for you guys. Okay, that's it for real. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.